What a beautiful morning. Very, very windy out this morning. But all that being said, the sun's up. It's going to be a very warm and nice day. Temperature is about 71 degrees right here around 8 a.m. Well, good morning, my friends. Welcome back to the channel. Hitch, hiking, Yeti here. Thank you so much for joining me today. Enjoying my coffee this morning. It is really, really tasty. Very, very nice. Thought we would do a little walk and talk this morning down to the Curie Beach fishing pier. Want to chat with you a little bit about my little YouTube hobby that I've been doing now for about 3 years. Kind of tell you what I think about it. Is it worth continuing? Am I still enjoying it today as much when I started? That's what we're going to be getting into today. Thank you for hanging out with me. I really do appreciate it. Let's go and walk on down to the Curie Beach fishing pier. Walk out to the Misfit sign. See if anyone is catching any fish this morning. By the way, cheers if you have your coffee in hand. Okay, so let's go ahead and start our walk right here on the Atlantic Ave Boardwalk here in Curie. I want to tell you, man, that ocean is a bit angry. It has really been windy the last few days. The northeast wind, it's been very brutal. But the main reason I wanted to do this video today is kind of talk to everybody, kind of a channel update, more or less, about my thoughts about being a YouTube content creator. It's hard to believe I've been doing this for 3 years now, which is not long compared to quite a few people that I know here on the platform. They've been doing it for some of them 10 years, but it's been quite the journey so far. Learning experience for sure. Okay, as I walk down the boardwalk, I thought we would just stop right here and just take a moment to look at this little beach cottage right here. I actually showed this place a couple weeks ago when I was walking out here and talking about like how cute I think it is, but I think it got a little bit cuter because they have went all out with some decorations for the Halloween season. They have the spider webs and stuff all over their bushes up here. Have a pumpkin-headed pirate up there on the railing. That is really, really cool. And I love their beware, go back, keep out signs, skulls. That is pretty awesome. So I wanted to talk a little bit about my YouTube. And I started the channel itself. Me and my wife knew we wanted to start a channel, a hobby, you know, like kind of a hobby of travel and things like that. In 2021, I think it was like June 2021 possibly, but we did not upload right away. I remember us sitting on the back porch, coming up, thinking of names, you know, trying to think of something interesting to name the channel. And we had several we threw out there, and there was one that we was pretty much going to go with. And then all of a sudden she had a brainstorm. And we had just gotten back from Disney World. And she ended up coming up with a name about her favorite rides. She took pretty much something to do with her favorite rides at Disney World, and she put them together, and that's where the Hitchhiking Yeti name was born from. That's how it all started. And if you've never heard me tell the story before, it was the hitchhiking ghost on Haunted Mansion is where the hitchhiking part comes from. That's my favorite dark ride of all time. Love the Haunted Mansion. It's one of those rides. Every time I go to WDW, I will ride the Haunted Mansion. Love it, love it. And then the Yeti was actually in the Animal Kingdom. At that time, that was our other favorite ride, was Expedition Everest in the Animal Kingdom, the big roller coaster inside the Mount Everest style mountain. And there's a Yeti in there that's like you know, is like the star of the ride. You know, the whole ride is kind of based around this Yeti tearing up the track, and the little train you're on is, you know, taking different tracks to get off the mountain safely, more or less. And that's where the hitchhiking Yeti thing come from. If you didn't know, now you know. I've shared it with you. But I have spoken about that quite a few times, because that is one of the questions that I get sometimes, is like, what's up with the name, or how did you come up with that name, or whatnot? What does it mean exactly? Like, most people, does it make sense to them, a hitchhiking Yeti, you know? But that's where it come from. And our Yeti is a traveler, because we like to travel. And that's kind of where all that was born, more or less. So once we made the channel, it just kind of sat there dormant for a while. We didn't upload anything until maybe September of 2021. And those early videos that I was uploading, and I didn't even upload often. I would upload something and then wait a while and then upload something else. I mean, I was just kind of dabbling, making videos, seeing if this was something I could do or if I liked it. And I didn't really start taking it serious until like maybe mid 2022. Over a year later is when I started actually, you know, having a schedule and uploading regularly. I think it took me, when I looked down and I seen I got 100 subscribers, I thought that was the most coolest thing in the world. I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. We got 100 subscribers. And that was when I decided to start, okay, maybe I can do this. This is really fun. This is fun watching the channel kind of grow, even though it was very slow, but I wasn't putting any real effort into it early on. And once I got to 100, I kind of made a thank you video for 100 subscribers. And I put myself on the spot. I promised everyone who watched that video that from this point on, I'm going to start uploading 2 videos every week. And I did that, and I've stuck with that, and I've done better than that, because some weeks I'm able to throw out 3 videos. It's not often. My work schedule does not allow that. So, but every now and then I can find a way to cram a 3rd one in there, and I've watched it grow ever since. And it took me about, from summer 2022 to I think 2023. It took me about a year, or a little over a year, to make my way to my first 1,000 subscribers. Give or take a year and a half, something like that. Now, if you thought I was excited over 100 subscribers, when I finally made it to 1,000, after a year and a half or whatever it was, I can't remember the exact how many months it took, but oh my gosh, I was ecstatic. I was so happy to hit that 1,000 mark. That was like the coolest thing, because once you get 1,000 subscribers and you get 4,000 watch hours, which is a lot, you can then have an opportunity, if you follow all the YouTube guidelines and rules, you can at least have an opportunity for your channel to become monetized via Google partnership program and start making a little bit of money, a very little bit of money. Because, you know, if you're not getting a lot of views, you're not making a substantial amount of money. And but it was still exciting to kind of have that and made it. Like that goal when we actually made it. And it was a really fun time to get all that set up and start knowing that you're going to be compensated for your videos. You're going to start getting a little bit of money, and very little bit of money. But all in all, it was a very exciting time. Look at that flag up there. That baby is flapping in the wind. You can tell the wind is coming right off that ocean, easterly. It's blowing straight back here at the Curie Beach Pier. So let's go ahead and walk inside. Take a little stroll out the pier, see if anybody is catching any fish today. Curie Beach Pier, 1923 was its birth date. 102 years old now. Fishing time. And we are catching whiting, croaker, bluefish, pinfish in Spanish. Okay, so now I've made my way out here onto the Curie Beach fishing pier. And you can get a good idea of just how rough the ocean is. I mean, there's a lot of white water. There's a lot of churning going on out here today, that is for sure. Those waves are rough. And I would imagine as the day goes, it's only going to get worse, because normally the wind don't blow quite as hard in the morning hours as it will in the evening hours. As the day goes, daytime heating happens. Always seems like it picks it up a little bit. But I'm going to continue on with my story. We made it to 1,000 subscribers here on the channel, and I attribute that success, the way it happened, to the beach. My beach content, I think, helped me out a lot, because I found out later, I didn't know it at the time, but the beach was a little bit easier for me to get subscribers, because it wasn't oversaturated with content creators. You know, I remember when I first started my channel, the first time I went to Florida, I thought this is going to be great. I'm going to go down there. I'm going to film some Disney World content. I'm going to go to Universal Studios. I'm going to film content in these places, and millions of people visit these places. They have an interest in them, and this is going to help my channel grow. That was a humbling experience. I ain't kidding, because I found out very quickly that those places are so saturated, you're lucky to get any views. There's so many people making content on popular locations or destinations like that, where you get lost in the shuffle. I mean, when you think of Disney World, you're thinking of millions of people would be searching, and probably so, on YouTube. But the problem is, there are bigger creators out there. There's local people down there that's been doing it a lot longer than you, and they get like front of the line treatment in YouTube, because they've been making a lot of that content. There's people that just make that content. Theme parks, Disney, Universal, and your little channel will get lost in the shuffle. There's actually some analytics on there in the YouTube studio that you can see how many people YouTube showed your video to. And I remember one of my first vlogs I did, I think it might have been Magic Kingdom. I think they only showed it to like 200 people. And I was thinking, only 200 people see this video? Like, did I do something wrong? Did I upload something wrong? What happened? And no, it's just how it is. You're not first at the head of the line. So that was a very humbling experience. I thought I would go down there and just make a video and get thousands and thousands of views and really help my videos and my channel grow. And that was a hard pill to swallow. And still to this day, when I go to Walt Disney World, I always make some kind of content, but my content has changed over the years. When I go, I try to make a very specific point to show you something, and that seemed like that has helped. I've made some videos, and now they got thousands of views, but it has to be very specific. It has to be right on point. It can't be like a vlog where it's like a day in the park with me. It cannot be anything like that. It's got to be way more on point about something. It's got to be like my favorite treat or secrets you didn't know in Walt Disney World, like the smallest hidden Mickey's location or something like that is kind of how that has to go. But I don't know. I just thought I would share that with you a little bit. If you are starting a YouTube channel and you run into something like that, that's why. If you go somewhere it's like super popular, the odds of you getting your video out there are pretty low. It's not really that high, and don't feel bad. Don't beat yourself up if something like that happens, because that is why it's happening, is because probably it's oversaturated. Man, this wind is relentless, and I'm gonna tell you something. Man, some of these waves that comes through and breaks on these pylons of this pier, man, you can feel the whole pier shaking. I mean, right now it's actually moving. I can feel the pier swaying a little bit because these big waves just piling into the pylons down below that's holding this structure up. But the other day, I watched a video here on YouTube from a creator up in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. His name is Todd Venture, and his channel he does a lot of local stuff in and around Charlotte, the Piedmont of North Carolina. He does like little antique malls, vintage toy stores. He shows a lot of old toys. He does some cons. You know, he just does a lot of local stuff down there in the area. And he seems like a really nice guy. I've never met him before, but we have spoke a little bit, you know, in the comment section back and forth. He's watched some of my videos. I've definitely watched some of his over the years. And he made an interesting video the other day talking about how he was going to not do the Renaissance Festival. He normally does that every year. And he don't do a lot of Halloween haunts and stuff like that because he was making a video talking about how it's oversaturated and you get lost in the shuffle when you're a smaller channel, and there's other channels out there that do it very well, and you know, it's too much. It's like too much of that content. And I know some people have messaged me before when it comes this time of year, like, are you going to do any haunts? And I actually got invited to a haunt or two over the last several years, and I never go because, you know, I mean, I like going to haunted houses and stuff. It's just I've never thought about making a video about it, you know. And there's so many creators out there who make videos about that every year, and they go hard and strong for like August, September, October. Like 3 months of Halloween for me is just too much, you know. I mean, I like Halloween and I like horror films and stuff like that. I don't watch as much as I used to. I'm more of an old school 80s guy. I think I just kind of grown out of horror films over the years. And I don't know. I kind of agree with what he had to say. That's one reason why I've never really done a lot of like Halloween spooky stuff in the haunt season, just because I think it is oversaturated and you just kind of get lost in the shuffle. So why even do it? You know, I don't understand why I'd want to do it. So the thing I've always tried to do is I've always tried to like switch it up a little bit. I've tried to take you to places that has legend and lore attached to them. Like I know maybe a few years ago I went to Lydia's Bridge. I told a story about Lydia's Bridge. I shared what it looked like around Lydia's Bridge and just gave you a little real life haunt story. Even if the haunt's not true or not, the legend and lore enough I thought was cool enough, and it seemed like people likes that, you know. So, and I'm doing it again this year. I just recently went to Bladenboro and I went to Whiteville. I said Whiteville in the video, but I did a little TikTok video too about that. And there's a bridge down there called Heartbeat Bridge, which I thought was a fascinating horror story, you know. And if you've seen that video, you know what I'm talking about, man. That was a cool little story about that bridge. But some of the locals was like, it's not Whiteville, Yeti, it's Whiteville, like V-U-L-L, which I thought was hilarious because, you know, all local people have their own way of saying things, but everybody was really cool about it and stuff. So next time I go back to Whiteville, I will try to say it the way the locals say it. So if that's indeed how all locals say it, I have no idea. You just never know what you're going to get in the comment section when you're making videos. But all in all, that's why I don't do the haunt videos. I have had people ask me before, and I try to do something a little bit different and give you just some spooky, legendary locations around wherever I'm at. Either it's here in North Carolina, or it might be abroad sometime in the future. We might be in different states and do stuff like that. There's haunted stuff everywhere, especially in the South. That's just how it is, baby. So that's my 2 cents. So let's continue on out the pier and see if anybody's catching anything in all this windiness. Nice. That's cool. You got us a fish today. How many of you caught today?
Nah, no, nothing today.
Nothing today?
It's already small.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said it's very small today. I guess all the wind is really affecting the fishing, I can imagine. Maybe a little bit. I don't know. This gentleman right down here to the left looks like he just he just caught him one. So they are catching something, it's just not big yet. All right, I've made my way down here to the home of the Misfit sign. And I noticed there is a ton of fishing gear down here. And the reason for this is they have a king mackerel tournament going on right now. So there is quite the abundance of fishermen out here on the end of the pier. It is like super, super windy out here. Very windy. A lot of folks out here fishing. So I'm gonna go ahead and make my way back down the pier and get out of here because it is super crowded. It's always kind of intimidating for me to walk out to the pier when there's this many people, because I always have a horror thought of like getting a hook in the ear or something other when somebody rears back to cast. So the question that I asked, do I still enjoy making YouTube videos after the last 3 years? Watching the channel grow has been a blast. It's been a lot of fun. And I gotta say something, I still love making YouTube videos. This has got to be one of the coolest hobbies I have ever had. And there's a rewarding feeling that comes with making these videos and having a small community as I do. That some people, they watch, they support me so much. And there's certain ones, they comment on just about every video. They watch every video. And I think it's really nice sometime, every now and then I get messages from people giving me some ideas of different videos that they want to see or think it would make a good video or whatnot. I really like that a lot, man. It really makes me feel good. And the other people cherish the videos that I make. They're not the greatest videos in the world, I know, but they're the best I can do. And I always try to make videos where I'm trying to at least teach you something that I have learned in researching where I'm going. You know, a little history, if it's small town, back road videos, which is probably some of my favorite ones to make. There's something about getting in a car. Really? Tell him. Tell him about it. He's trying to take my TV time away. Did you see that? That seagull back there. But anyway, I think I love making the small town videos. That's something I want to continue through the winter months especially. I think that's a good change of pace for me to do in the off months. In the summertime, it's so hot, I don't always enjoy them quite as much. And plus, I know people like the beach content in the summer months, so I always try to stick with that as much as I can. And but yeah, small town back road stuff is a lot of fun. I'm looking forward. I got a lot of plans and stuff I want to shoot. I also want to do more filming location videos over the next coming year. I've always been a fan of movies, and I got several things I want to go show for filming locations. I've always wanted to go down to Georgia and show filming locations for the original Smokey and the Bandit, the very first Smokey and the Bandit movie. And it's crazy because all I got to do is just go. I have everything mapped out. I have everything drawn out of where to go, when to go, to show all these locations. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I've always wanted to go and show season 1, the first 5 episodes of The Dukes of Hazzard. I've always wanted to go show that, and that's not too far away. My Cousin Vinny, some of my favorite stuff, Forrest Gump. There's just so many good ones out there I would like to go film. What's up there, Charlie? Is there anything else you would like to say? Don't fly away, don't be nervous. Trying to give you some TV time, man. I mean, you was really squawking. Okay. Well, my friends, I think that is going to pretty much wrap it up here for me today. Nice little morning walk. Got to enjoy my coffee. Got to talk to you a little bit. Give you a little update on what fishing looks like. They're catching some small stuff down there. Didn't see any kings being caught. I stayed down there for a little bit, but not long. I always feel like I'm in the way when they have like a tournament or a whole lot of people down there. You know, I get kind of weirded out by getting a hook in the ear or something or other when it's that crowded down there at the end of the pier. But all that being said, I still love making YouTube videos. And I'm going to continue on into year 4. This coming year will be year 4 of consistently uploading. We're going to keep rocking with that. And I have secured reservations for later on this year. We're going somewhere exciting that I've never taken you to with me before. We're going south, baby. Far south. Farther south I've ever been before. So stay tuned for that. That is going to be quite the experience, to say the least. But you would know when we get there. I'm not going to throw it out exactly where I'm going, but it's going to be a fun trip. I've got all my hotels booked. It's all going to be road tripping it, so it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to taking you along with me on that little adventure. So all that being said, my friends, I am done today. Thank you so much for taking your time to hang out with the hitchhiking Yeti again. Really do appreciate it. We're going to end it by looking back at good old Carolina Beach, just to the north of us down there. Until next time, I'm the Hitchhiking Yeti, my friends, and I will see you in my next video. Y'all stay safe, and I hope to see you all again soon. Y'all have a blessed one.